He lifts a bottle from a table and tries to hit Chun with it, but Chun breaks the bottle and Junkai's nose with one punch. Chen tells him that there is no shame in eating soft food, but he is a beast who eats soft food and beats women. Junkai feels insulted and brings out a knife from his pocket. Xiao tells Chun to watch out. Chun speedily grabs his wrist and releases the knife from his grip. Then he lifts him and throws him. Junkai passes out. The crowd gathers around to see the fight. Chun starts walking outside. Shang looks at him and rushes toward him. She grabs his leg and says she was wrong and blind. She asks him for a chance to start over. He asks her if Chin, whom she is talking to, is the person who once carried her over 10 kilometers to the emergency room at 3 a.m. Is he still the same Chun who saved up for half a year to buy her a cell phone only to be criticized for not being the latest model? Is it Chin who knows she is frivolous and vain, but always believes she will look back one day? He tells her that the old Chun is already dead. She chose it herself. Then he leaves her there crying. Chin drops Xiao at her hostel. He apologizes to President Xiao for the mess tonight. She replies that calling her president is too rude. He should just call her Kiki. She adds that she did not feel disturbed, but got to see a different side of someone. She thinks that Chun is a person who becomes more impressive the more someone looks at him. He has a hunch that he will bring her countless surprises. Shang enters her room while crying. Her friend asks her why she has not brought an umbrella, as it is showering so hard outside. Shang just calls Chun Yuan's name and says nothing else. Her friend thinks that she has heard that Chun swiped over 10 million for Zhao's live broadcast yesterday. She says this kid looks like a beggar but is so rich. Shang is shocked to hear that and asks her where she heard that news. She replies that Wu Fia's dorm roommate said it, and it is all over the women's dormitory. She thought Shang knew. Shang starts screaming after hearing everything. Chun is playing a video game. His friend asks him if he is outrageous. He has won 18 times in a row tonight. They ask him if he is a gaming genius. Chun thinks that he did not expect that after adding 20 attributes, even playing games would become easier. This is a surprise. He replies to his friends that he is in good condition. One of his friends asks him why he does not become an anchor. He says that when Chun makes 1 million a month, he can fly with him. Chun removes his shirt and looks at himself in the washroom's mirror. He thinks the attribute points have made qualitative changes in his body and is in better shape. He focuses on his jawline and says that calling himself the Peng Yuan of Hunan University should not be too much. He looks at his abs and says that with such a perfect body, he does not know which woman would be cheapened. Suddenly, his friend calls him and asks if he has fallen into the toilet hole. He tells him that the phone is ringing continuously. He comes out and checks his phone and wonders why Zul is calling him so late. He wonders if she is thinking of some new tricks to trick him. He calls her and asks her why she called him so late. She is crying on the other side. She tells him that she does not know what to do. She could only think of him. She asks if he can lend her $500,000. She wonders if he sees her as his future wife. Chen asks her what their relationship even means, suggesting there's no need for distinctions if it's not about him and her. She blushes more, her favorability rapidly increasing to 90 points. Chen thinks his acting skills are improving and that the film industry owes him an Oscar. Chen paid the initial deposit of 10 million, stating he'd transfer the remaining amount to Hong after completing the formalities. Hong replies that Chen can leave the transfer matters to him, assuring it will be sorted out in a few days. As they sit in the taxi, Hong waves them goodbye, thinking that with Smokey's wealth, it's surprising he insists on taking a taxi daily for physical exercise, proving that the wealthier he gets, the more low-key he becomes. While sitting in the taxi, Chung considers that President Zhao's favorability is already at 90 points. Once he completes the licking dog transformation, the 70 million invested in her will turn into 700 million in returns, with additional attribute point rewards making it a hefty profit. Xiao looks at him, thinking that based on her experience reading novels, if Qian just said something embarrassing, the next part might be their wedding. She wonders if the wedding will be in Milan or the Alps and what name would suit their child. Her daydreaming is interrupted when the driver tells them they've arrived. She exits the taxi and asks Chun if he isn't getting out. He replies that his roommates have invited him to play games at the internet cafe, bids her goodbye, and leaves. She becomes sad, saying it shouldn't be like this as she wanted to confess. Chun arrives at the internet cafe, seeing his friends already playing. They ask why he took so long and tell him to hurry up and open a card, as they've saved a machine for him. He assures them not to worry and that he will drive the machine to take them flying. At the counter, he asks to open a 20U card, 4 packs of liquid cigarettes, and 4 bottles of iced black tea. It's Sue at the counter. She calls out to Chun, who is looking at his phone. Hearing her voice, he looks at her and asks what she's doing there. She blushes and explains she told him earlier that her dad runs a chain of internet cafes and opened this one thanks to him. Her family's debt has been completely paid off. She excitedly offers him a lifetime membership to the internet cafe with unlimited computer access. He replies that it's not necessary, but she insists. Suddenly, a gangster asks Zhu if she is Lao's daughter and when her father will repay the money he owes them. She replies that she paid 5 million last time and questions why she still needs to pay more. The gangster slams his bat on the counter, stating that 5 million was the principal, and there's still 15 million in interest owed. She accuses him of engaging in fraud and robbery. He grabs her, threatening that if she can't come up with 15 million today, she will have to come with them. He insinuates that with her looks, she would be the star of his nightclub, easily earning enough to cover the debt in 1 or 2 years. Seeing this, Chun grabs the gangster's arm, twists it, and warns them to leave quickly before he gets angry. The gangster retorts, saying Chun is meddling and orders his men to kill him. As all the gangsters attack simultaneously, Chun kicks them, impressing his friends with the blind monk's ultimate move, the cyclone kick. The gangsters leave the cafe, warning Chun not to cross their path again. Zhu hugs Chun, thanking him for saving her again, saying she was scared to death. Chun gets a notification that Zhu Li's favorability has reached 95 points, congratulating him on a successful counterattack. It states that the dog-licking target spent 53 million Yu in dog-licking gold, rewarding Chun with 530,000 Yu and 5 bonus points. Chun thinks today is a double delight. Suddenly, Shanong arrives and sees Zhu hugging Chun. She calls her treacherous, accusing her of hiding and seducing Chen Yuan while enjoying the benefits alone. Chen, embarrassed by their fighting, tells the system to add all the points to strengthening and agility. The next day, students are wandering on the sports field, including Chen. He thinks Lin Shudong and Zhu Liu have been successfully wooed, so dealing with President Xiao will be a piece of cake. He decides it's time to find new targets, fearing he might end up with no one left to charm. Suddenly, a girl taps his back, asking if he can move aside as he's causing inconvenience to others. She explains their sports club has requisitioned the field for a short distance race and requests he avoid the area. He looks at her closely, noting that despite her fierceness, she seems straightforward and genuine. He agrees, then shows her his phone, asking for her WeChat ID to add her there. Suddenly, a guy arrives, questioning what Chun is doing. He claims to be her boyfriend and tells Chun to give up the idea. Chun recognizes him as someone who used to beat him up. The guy calls Chun a toad dreaming of eating swan meat, telling him to face reality. Chun thinks it's a narrow road between enemies. The system binds the girl in the dog-licking relationship, revealing her name is Henning, and her current favorability towards Chun is 5. If he succeeds, he'll be rewarded with 10% of the dog-licking gold and 22 enhancement points. Chun finds this target attractive. The referee asks the players to get ready as the competition is about to begin. The guy also lines up at the starting line, with Jing rooting for her boyfriend. As the race starts, the guy runs faster than the other players, maintaining the lead. He thinks the other players are like ants, but suddenly, someone overtakes him. Shocked, he wonders how someone can be this fast. It's Chun, who leaves him behind, determined to defeat him in his strongest field. Yang acknowledges that Chun cannot be underestimated, laughing and thinking he will show Chun what it means to be a great emperor. However, he soon wonders where Chun has gone, only to see Chun lapping him by a whole round. Stunned, he wonders how many seconds it took. Chun smirks, confident that a mere decade of hard training cannot compare to his meticulously planned skill points over a week. The anchor announces witnessing something extraordinary, calling Chun the real speedster. The crowd cheers as Chun completes a lap in just 50 seconds. Chun wins the race, leaving Jing in disbelief over her boyfriend's loss. The anchor declares a new champion has been born, breaking records and surpassing human intellect. The coach approaches Chun, impressed by his abilities, and recommends him for the national track and field team. Ling, crying, asks the coach if the spot wasn't meant for him. Jing, feeling oddly detached from Ling, increases her favorability towards Chun by 5 points. Ling calls out to her, sensing her thoughts are elsewhere, but she smiles to cover up, saying she's just a little worried about him. Meanwhile, her favorability continues to rise for Chin. Xiao enters the room, and Wu asks where she has been. She replies that Chun bought her a house, shocking Wu. She explains she saw a house with him today, and he bought it for 60 million. She asks Wu to help check the house prices in Jianu district, warning that if the chubby guy selling the house plays dirty, she won't spare him. Chun had told her that what belongs to him also belongs to her. Wu laments his own misfortune, wondering why he can't encounter such good luck. He feels jealous of her. Wu tells her not to show off and promises to help. Suddenly, he sees something on his phone and yells, "What is this?" Someone has posted an article about Chun, labeling him a top-tier scumbag juggling multiple relationships simultaneously at the 21st level. Chen's roommate shows him the article online and mocks him. Chun is furious, thinking the article's author must be kidding him. He knows he's just a money-splitting boy and realizes he's been relatively high-profile lately, suspecting someone might not be happy about it. He wonders who that person could be. 3 nerds are behind this scene. The one with glasses tells the others their article has been pushed to the top of the list and has gone viral. His fellow laughs, saying Chin's reputation is over. Suddenly, Ling comes to them and asks what they're doing by drawing the curtains and turning off the lights in broad daylight. Startled by his sudden appearance, they call him scary for always walking silently. The main culprit tells Ling about Chen Yuan from the School of Liberal Arts, saying they're dealing with him because he's been very arrogant lately. Ling looks at Chin's picture and recognizes him as the guy from the sprint race, realizing it's the same Chun he used to beat up in high school. He laughs and tells the 3 he knows Chun well, having gone to the same high school. He describes Chun as a sociopath since childhood and provides information about him. Ling says Chan is probably not a good guy, accusing him of persistently clinging to and harassing girls. The 3 welcome Lings help to add more to their viral article. Ling seeks revenge, thinking it doesn't matter if Chin wins games and the coach likes him. He wants Chin ruined. They update the post, claiming Chin rides on mini boats, objectifies women, and frequently teases and belittles them, advising women to beware of this well-dressed beast. They allege the women in relationships with him are not there voluntarily. The article states an insider revealed Chun had a reputation in high school as a 3-headed dog, the best of all, licking dogs. The article spreads like wildfire, shocking everyone who reads it. The university principal reads it, slamming his phone on the table in anger. He declares it too much and unreasonable, vowing to investigate and, if true, expel this scum. Xiao tells the investigation team that Chen Yuan from Huda College of Liberal Arts is an exceptional person who despises girls' suffering, comes from a famous family, and possesses extraordinary wealth yet is generous and helpful. She adds that he transforms into a dark knight at night, fighting evil and protecting the city from sin. Xiao describes him as a hero based on her woman's intuition. The principal, hearing this, asks his secretary if Xiao Yuki's testimony is credible. The secretary replies that although she seems a bit weird, as the vice president of the student union, she shouldn't lie, implying Chun is probably a good person. The principal orders the officers to question Chin's classmates further. The officers approach Sheng, showing her their IDs and asking for help in their investigation. They take her to the investigation room, where she starts crying, insisting Chen Yuan is a good person and expressing her own feelings of inadequacy. She admits to being emotional, saying it pains her to think of him because he doesn't love her back. The officer hands her a tissue and clarifies that she thinks Chen Yuan is a good person despite rejecting her love. She confirms this, stating Chun is undoubtedly good and has done nothing wrong. The principal hears her testimony, leaves the room, and smokes outside, contemplating the possibility of Chin's innocence and the forum's intent to smear him. He then sees 2 people approaching with a banner. Introducing himself as the president of Hunan University, he asks what they need. Zoil, from the art department, presents a banner for Chen Yuan from the literature college, praising his bravery and help to her family. Shocked by this, the principal realizes he may have wrongly accused Chin. He reviews the post again, now noticing videos in favor of Chin, including one of him winning the race and numerous comments from girls supporting him. The principal, seeing Chin's innocent looks, grabs his head in worry, wondering if Chin is a popular idol unfairly targeted. The principal calls all the students to the hall, announcing that recent rumors against Chin Yuan are completely false. He declares it slander and pulls Chin closer, praising his correct lifestyle, willingness to help others, and secret acts of bravery. He gives Chin a certificate, urging others to learn from him. The students applaud, leaving Chin embarrassed and wondering when he has shown such courage. Ling, burning with jealousy, cannot understand why Chin hasn't been ruined and thinks everyone is blind, believing he should be the one receiving applause. Seeing his girlfriend, Jing, enchanted by Chin's personality, Ling's anger grows as her favorability towards Chin increases. After the ceremony, Ling confronts Jing, accusing her of enthusiastically applauding Chin Yuan. She responds, questioning his health and jealousy, stating she only admires Chun as a fellow student who has done many good deeds, yet remains indifferent to fame and wealth. She mentions that after winning against Ling, Chun could have become prideful but chose humility instead. These comments fuel Ling's anger, and he grabs her wrist, telling her to shut up. She starts weeping, saying he is hurting her. Ling, consumed by hatred, calls Chin a useless dog he once stepped on, arguing that society values money and power, which his dad can buy. He asks what Chun has in his possession. Suddenly, Chin passes by, talking on the phone, instructing Hong to drive in but keep a low profile, not picking him up in an overly expensive car. Jing and Ling forget their fight, watching as a fancy car arrives and stops by Chin. He tells the driver he asked for a less extravagant car, further intriguing Jing and leaving Ling fuming. Chun scolds Hong softly and tells him to pay attention next time. Hong apologizes and explains that he rushed and forgot Chun doesn't like it too flashy. Hong opens the door for him, and Chen gets in. Ling is shocked by what he has just seen. After the car leaves, Jing tells Ling they should break up as he does not trust her. Ling cannot believe his girlfriend is breaking up with him. Chen Yuan and Hong go to the office where Chun pays the remaining amount to Hong, who gives him the villa papers after completing all the legal procedures. Chun says that he is heading back to school. Hong offers him a lift, but Chun refuses, saying that Hong's car attracts too much attention and he will take a taxi back himself. While walking on the road, he thinks that even though he has bought the house, he still needs to prioritize winning President Xia's favor. After all, reaching full favorability earns a 25-point attribute bonus. He needs to give her something else. He checks his phone to see what else Hong wants to sell. He opens the group chat and sees praises for him for buying an expensive villa in no time and gifting it to his girlfriend. Chen replies that it is just a small favor. Suddenly, someone posts in the group an ad about selling a car. Chen likes the idea of giving President Xia a car. Chen reaches the showroom of that guy, who receives him in person. He introduces himself as Jiang Hain. His family runs a small business, and he personally manages a small car dealership. He says it is a pleasure to meet Mr. Smokey. He gives Chen his business card. Chen knows that the Jiang Group makes cars and cargo ships. It is a large local enterprise, and this guy surnamed Jiang is a wealthy second-generation entrepreneur. He calls him Brother Jiang and says that managing a large car dealership at a young age is truly impressive. Jiang tells him not to call him brother as he cannot afford it, and tells him just to call him by his name. He would like to take Chen on a tour to see some cars. He tells Chen that he is really young and promising. When he first heard Hong say Mr. Smokey, he thought he was an uncle but did not expect Mr. Smokey to be so young and have such outstanding charisma. One of Jiang's secretaries asks the other who that person is whom Mr. Jiang received personally. She replies that he must be the son of some wealthy tycoon, and tells the other not to bother looking into it as this kind of man is not someone they should be concerned about. Jiang shows Chan his collection and says that he would not speak for elsewhere, but in this city, his place has the most complete collection of luxury cars. Everything he can think of is here. Chen looks around and says he wants to buy a Bugatti Chiron. These words hit Jiang like an arrow. He smiles embarrassingly and says that Chen really loves to joke, as the Chiron is a top luxury car with a limited edition of 20 units in the world. Chen asks if he is saying that he does not have it. Chun asks if he has a Lamborghini Veneno or Pagani Huayra Roadster. These words are critically hitting Jang, who wonders if Chan is here to disrupt his place. He explains that the vehicles he usually deals with range from 2 million to 89 million. Chin gets that Jang has no car that he desires and tells him that there is nothing suitable for him there. He also mentions that Jang's business does not seem to be that extensive. Jang thinks that Chin can buy houses worth tens of millions, but he finds it hard to believe he can afford cars of the same value. He decides to unveil his trump card to keep the shop bustling. He tells Chun that even though he does not have the cars he asked for, he does have one expensive car, a Ferrari LaFerrari. It features a 6.3L V12 naturally aspirated engine capable of delivering a maximum power output of 588 kilowatts. The independent electric motor produces 120 kilowatts of power, contributing to a total output of 800 horsepower. Paired with a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, it achieves an acceleration time of less than 3 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. It is available for 22.5 million yuan. Jang asks Chun how he would respond in such a scenario. Chun thinks that while the Ferrari may not be excessively expensive, it is still not considered cheap. It would indeed be fitting as a gift for President Xia. He puts a hand on Jang's shoulder and says that if it is over 20 million, he will buy it. Jang has put in effort. Chun tells him to take him to swipe the card and to deliver the car to the Hang Riverside Villa community. Jang is shocked and takes the card from him. Suddenly, Chun gets a call from his friendly one and wonders why he is calling him at this time. One tells Chun that on his birthday, his girlfriend Liu Jia said she was accompanying her best friend to do nails. It got very late, and Liu Jia did not bring an umbrella with her. He was worried about her, so he hurriedly took an umbrella to give it to her, but he witnessed a scene that tore his heart apart. She was kissing some rich guy with a car in the rain. At that moment, he had a sense of confusion. They were getting wet in the rain while he, holding the umbrella, felt like a drowned rat. One is crying and tells Chun that his heart hurts so much. It was a 3-year relationship. He had planned to take her home to meet his parents. Chun tells him to stop drinking as he has already had 8 bottles of beer. One sobs and asks if he did something wrong and if he can still try to win her back. Chin grabs him by his shirt and scolds him. He tells him that he must stay clear-headed as the mistake is hers, not his. He tells him to pick up his self-respect and not become a licking dog. One falls to his knees and says he already knows all of this, but he does not know what to do. Chin looks at his miserable friend and says it is hard to accept. He asks one if he thinks Leo is just impulsive and not a bad person. Chun needs to teach one a lesson. He brings out his phone and dials a number. One asks what he is talking about and whom he is planning to call. Chen tells one to trust him and let him handle this situation. He will make Leo kneel before him and repent. Chun calls Janghausen and says he wants to borrow a few cars, noting that they are too expensive, just a few million each. He also asks if Jang can contact some of his trustworthy friends to have them drive the cars over tomorrow. Jang replies that he will handle this matter properly for him. One wonders why there are double crosses involved in this. After that, Chun calls Zul and asks her if she is free tonight. He would like to meet up with her. He tells her the address and says he will wait for her there. One looks at his friend and says he seems to have changed a bit. In the evening, they meet at a restaurant. One is stunned to see Zole hugging Chun so openly. She says she missed him so much. One thinks that Chen made a single call and brought an 8 out of 10 girl.